InDesign file went from 100 megabytes to more than 4 gigabytes, and then poof, it crashed.
Wow.
I also sent the tech support of Adobe. Yeah, they just sent me a message like a week and a half later saying like, sorry, it's impossible to recover. So
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Even Adobe couldn't recover it.
no, indeed. So my file was recovered. I got it sent back to me, and yeah, all was good. Yeah. Yes.
Wow, okay. All right, Nicola, nice to meet you on the Zoom here. We met due to a bad situation. You had a big bad InDesign file, like 4 gigabytes, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Right. And before we jump into what happened and how Markzware helped solve the problem, as it were, maybe you can give us a little bit of background about who you are and what you do.
Yes. So I studied architecture, and I did a second master in heritage studies. So I had 7 years of studying that I needed to put into a portfolio before I started to start looking for a job.
Hmm.
And so for this portfolio, you need to, it's sort of a summary of all the works and projects that you did in your student years, and sort of a story of all your skills you can do. So there are a lot of images that are into this portfolio that you need to put in order to, yeah, make a full summary of your work.
Right. Yeah, I noticed actually there was one huge image in there. That was probably the problem. But a lot
Yes.
of images in general were in there. Yeah. So you're now completed with your study. You're almost done.
Yeah, so I completed my studies in September, and so ever since then I started working on the portfolio gradually up until the point that it crashed, of course. So
Excellent.
now it's getting finalized. So a couple more days and I'll be finished, and I can sell it to various bureaus to look for a job. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you afterwards. I have some friends in architect world in Chicago, and she studied in Belgium somewhere for masters or something, and Italy, and then now she's working. But anyway, we'll get that in a moment.
Yeah.
What's interesting though, I notice a lot of bad files we get are from architects, which is kind of maybe because of the heavy CAD files, or just like you said, a lot of images in general. I don't know, but that's an interesting side note. But how do you use, like, have you been using Adobe products for a while, or just since you started studying, or?
Yeah, ever since I started studying. So my first year in architecture, we learned to work with the CAD programs, and then the most prominent Adobe programs.
Okay.
So InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop.
They actually teach you InDesign a little bit.
Yeah, but most of the time, they just give you the basics, and
Mhm.
then further on, you have to be an autodidact and start learning on your own.
Right. Yeah, which is good because that's basically how the real life works anyway, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine with the CAD programs, they give you more in-depth training, but maybe up.
Yeah, well, they give more training, but eventually it's all on your own to see in what program you might excel in or in which way. So I really like working with the computer and with the 3D modeling. So my routes to like 3D modeling and Adobe programs became more proficient than other people, of course.
Mhm. Right.
So it depends.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, great. And which school did you go to?
I went to the University of Antwerp.
Okay, excellent. Beautiful
Yeah,
city, Antwerp.
yeah, lovely.
Okay, so now let's go back in. When you're working on your file, and what happened? When did it go south, as we say in English?
Yeah, so like I said, I have to put project in from the first year of studying all the way up until now. And most of the images I used from my past projects, they all were embedded images. But it came until a point where I wanted to put in two projects, but I couldn't find my original images anymore. I could only find my official portfolio that I had to file in for the project. And so instead of then adding embedded images, I just took high quality screenshots. And instead of first saving those screenshots and then putting them in as embedded images, it was a lot of work. So I thought, let me just put these screenshots directly into Adobe InDesign. And these screenshots were of such high quality, were of such big size that before I knew it, my InDesign file went from 100 megabytes to more than 4 gigabytes, and then poof, it crashed.
Wow. So you had an actual crash, and then, what did you do then?
Yeah, so the first thing is always like trying to solve the error, looking at the different forums, online videos, see how I can solve it. And I spent like the next 3 to 4 days trying to find many solutions online, but none of them worked with me. I had friends of mine also trying to open it in their Adobe program. I also set the tech support of Adobe, but they couldn't recover the file as well.
So they tried.
Yeah, they just sent me a message like week and a half later saying like, sorry, it's impossible to recover. So
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Even Adobe couldn't recover it.
no, indeed. So yeah, I was been bummed out about that. But then yeah, like I said, on some forums, they always said like, hey, if you really can't fix it, there's always Markzware you can try out. Like it's with a fee, it's not free as all the other solutions. But yeah, if you're working on a very important program, like it's only a fraction of the costs compared to the effort you put in. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you had a huge file, and, wow. So then you found Markzware, and how did that process go when with contacting us and going through the process?
yeah, it was really, really great actually. Because first I was a bit hesitant because yeah, I just graduated, so I have a lot of money on the side. But I said, let's go it. I want to finish my portfolio ASAP. Yeah, I just texted you guys, and first I had some questions about your service, and within a half an hour I got a very clear reply. I sent my portfolio, I paid, and within like 15 minutes, you guys texted me, keeping me updated. And eventually, yeah, I think within an hour that I paid the money and I had contact with you, my file was recovered. I got it sent back to me. And yeah, all was good. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, 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 your file was very big. It took a little longer than usual, and, but it worked, and that was amazing. And then we saw that one huge image that somehow ballooned to, I think the one image alone was like 2 gigabyte or something crazy. So, yeah, that just, that'll throw any program into a mess, I guess, you know. So, and just one tip for anyone watching, embedding images, some people like Anne-Marie Concepcion, she's a InDesign, expert who gives all kind of trainings and stuff, and she's very good with InDesign. But she actually prefers to embed her images. But if you're embedding huge stuff or in large documents, it can get problematic, like, sort of like probably what happened to you here. So, and we've seen this many times with bad files. So, just a tip, if you're embedding images, be careful. Always keep a backup. Exporting as IDML along the way every once in a while is a good tip, and those sort of things. So, but wow, so that's great, Nicola. So then, yeah, you get the file back, you opened it, and you're almost done finalizing it now, and everything's looking good.
Yeah, yeah, it's not looking great. Like also later on, I finally also in a backup hard drive, I found the original imagery of those lost projects.
Oh,
So I was able to also like fully link all the images that I didn't have prior to this. And yeah, all went well.
awesome. Um, okay, great. So I always ask this to everybody. I think it's quite clear, but would you recommend the Markzware, this desktop publishing recovery service, to other people?
Yeah, definitely. Because also it's the only real solution that you have online. Like all the other solutions, you can try them out, but if none of them work, Markzware is always the only solution you can find. Like the customer support is very, very easy, ongoing. Uh, yeah, I saw no flaws in it, and I got straight back to work after the file got sent to me. So I'd say if you're in a frenzy and it's a very important file and you need it to finish ASAP, you have a lot of hours put into it. Don't hesitate. Just like pay the fee, let her fix it for you, let it be serviced, and just get that going. Like make sure you don't lose your momentum. And yeah, I highly recommend it.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. Good to hear, and we're glad we could help. And yeah, indeed, we hear often that Adobe couldn't fix it, and we could or we can. So it's just with the process we do with like reading in the files to do our pre-flighting and our file conversion happens to like clean out a lot of different corruption in different various situations. So it's kind of a coincidence on one hand. On the other hand, it works. So we've been doing it for years, and glad we could help you. And yeah, hopefully you'll find a good job soon. But architecture is great and sounds like a lot of fun. Where can people learn more information about you, Nicola, if they want to hire you for for your architectural services or
Yeah, if they want to hire me, folks, I think LinkedIn is the best to
LinkedIn?
find
Okay,
me.
you're on LinkedIn. Excellent.
Yes, that's just my full name. That's Nicola Stevens.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I'm also on other platforms, but I think for professional contact, LinkedIn is perfect.
Right, and I'll put a link down below in the description of the video. And yeah, thank you a lot for your time, Nicola, and good luck.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. Yeah.